Hello, everybody. Intuition here. Thank you, as always, for making time and space for us. Today, we would like to talk about, or maybe ask the question before we start rambling on, why are you overeating? Many of us believe that it is a sin to be a glutton, and yet we cannot stop reaching for that second sleeve of Oreos, that third pint of ice cream, that fifth bag of chips. So what compels us to overeat when we certainly know that we are full, that we are not hungry, and yet we still feel the need to continue to overconsume? For many of us, weight is an issue. It is an issue because, again, of our overconsumption and our need to keep on eating and not being able to stop. So why can't we stop? It seems so easy. They make it look easy on TV, and yet I cannot stop myself from grabbing another bag of chips, eating more Cheetos. Maybe it's not even necessarily food. Maybe it's you have a shopping addiction. Maybe you like to drink alcohol too much. There are a million ways in which we overconsume, in which we overeat. Again, when we say overeat, you can think about it literally or you could think about it figuratively. Anything in which you are overconsuming, you are overeating. So what is making you overeat? And it is as simple as it is complex. But it is the idea that when we overeat, when we overconsume, we are trying to fill something within us that feels empty. And therefore, because we feel empty, we think that we need to fill ourselves. If we feel empty, then therefore we must put some gas in the tank, right? That gas in the tank might be spending money in the store, whether it be groceries or for the 10th pair of shoes that we don't need. Hell's bells, there's not even 10 days in the week, and yet I have 10 pairs of shoes. So why, again, am I buying so much food? Buying so much alcohol, eating so much food, drinking so much alcohol, wearing so many shoes? Why is it never enough? And again, it is not enough because you are filling yourself with the wrong thing. And that sounds cliche, but truly, that is really what it is about. You are filling yourself with the wrong thing. You are looking for the short life of happiness and confusing it for the long-term, substantial, lasting knowing of joy. Happiness is circumstantial. Happiness is when I buy that pair of shoes and I stare at those pair of shoes. But again, it only lasts as long as those shoes are new. It only lasts as long as I have the alcohol buzz in my system, as long as I have the weed-induced high. It is only that my happiness is only as long and as short-lived as that thing is new to me. And then I am reminded how empty I am again, and therefore I must fill again. I must take another hit of weed. I must have another sip of alcohol. I must eat some more Oreos. I must buy some more shoes. But again, it is the idea that you are filling yourself with the wrong thing because you are looking for the wrong thing to begin with. Happiness is circumstantial. Something has to happen in order for me to be happy. Joy. There are no circumstances that have to happen in order for me to be joyous. Joy is looking at a sunset. Joy is petting a dog. Joy is staring into a child's eyes. A child that you like in the very least. Maybe your child's eyes, not just some random child's eyes. But that is joy. Things don't necessarily need to happen. You just end up in places and spaces in which you feel joy, in which you are in the energy of joy. But again, happiness is circumstantial. I have to buy those shoes to feel happy. I have to smoke that weed to feel happy. I have to drink that alcohol to feel happy. I have to eat more Oreos to feel happy. So what are you filling yourself with? And why are you thinking that that is going to be the end-all be-all? Why do you think that you will feel joy after you're done eating all of that food? In the idea of food, if you crave sweets, and this is not something that we are making up. This is actually something that somebody else has said, but we like to continue to deliver this idea and make it more visceral for you. It is the idea that if you like sweets, then you do not have enough sweetness in your life. And therefore, let me have more chocolate. And at least I get to taste the sweetness, even if I don't get to feel that sweetness. If I like salty foods, it is not that I like salty foods. It is because it suppresses all of that anger inside of myself. Because I'm afraid that if I let out my true anger, good God, I might explode like a volcano and somebody might get hurt. So it's better for me to hurt myself by stuffing it down with all that salt. So those are examples. You were trying to fill yourself. I'm trying to eat sweets because there's not enough sweetness, and the only way that I know how to do that is by filling my stomach with something that it doesn't really need. And there is that sweetness. So instead of going that route, you can just fill your life with sweetness, literally, not because of the foods that you're eating, but because there's sweetness all around you. All you have to do is find what it is that makes you feel sweet, not the sweet tooth, but maybe what brings you sweetness in life is painting or swimming or walking dogs or spending time in nature. Maybe that is sweetness to you. And you could fill yourself with that and you will feel endlessly full. And you won't get hungry until you're actually hungry, not when you feel empty inside. If you're grabbing those salty chips, what the hell do you have to get out of your system that you're trying to suppress through that saltiness, that bitterness? What bitterness are you holding on to that you feel that if you expel will just poison everything and everyone around you? Are you afraid of your anger? Well, you must not be too afraid if you keep on suppressing it inside of yourself, because that will just cause an implosion instead of an explosion. But hey, I guess it's better if you're exploding than you're exploding at someone else. Much better to kill yourself than to kill someone else, right? And we're not encouraging you to kill yourself or anyone else, but that would be the idea if you keep on eating something salty over and over again because you're afraid, potentially, of the anger or the bitterness that you have inside. If you're drinking too much, what is it that you do not want to see? Usually, people want to drink because it blurs the lines of where they begin and someone else ends. Usually you drink because you do not want to see yourself, because when you see yourself, you feel deeply disturbed by what it is that you see. Maybe it is your illusion of the past that is propelling you into the need to blur yourself and to blur your vision, blur your memory of who it is that you are and what it is that you've done. But again, that is coming from a sense of emptiness, a sense of disturbance. The emptiness is, I cannot live in the past because I feel too disturbed by it, and every time I come into the present, I'm still disturbed by the emptiness that I feel from what I've done in the past. So let me blur those lines, let me get that eraser out and smudge some things, because that is easier than dealing with whatever it is that I believe is much harder to deal with from the past. If you are a shopaholic, then what newness are you needing in your life? What makes you think that the newness that you need is a new pair of shoes? Air out your shit. Maybe that is the newness that you need. Give some of that shit that you've been buying away. These people that like to shop, it is again this idea that there is nothing new. I feel so stagnant. I feel so sad because nothing is new in my life, and I don't know how to feel better about myself or about my life, about my situations, about my circumstances. But you know what will change it all around is that beautiful shirt that I saw on that mannequin in the window. That mannequin had a smile. They looked like they were experiencing something new. So maybe I will experience something new wearing this brand new shirt. But that is a short-lived happiness. And as quickly as that new shirt was new for you, it becomes very old because you realize, I am not feeling as happy as I thought. I am not experiencing that newness that I thought I would experience in wearing this new shirt. It is too old now. If you are smoking cigarettes, weed, whatever the hell you're smoking, usually it is because you're trying to suffocate yourself. Oh, but why? What are you trying to suffocate? Your words, things that you want to say, things that you would love to get out but can't because the people around you might not like it. Smoke, suffocating in your lungs, all of it is tied to one another. So again, it is all affecting the throat, the lungs, and other body parts, but mainly, again, the throat, the lungs. So what is it that you would love to say but can't get out? What is it that you're trying to express, but let me shove that down with some smoke and maybe that will kill it? What truths are you hiding? Maybe from yourself or others that are getting in the way of all it is that you are and all it is that you can be. So, why are you overeating? Whether it is literal food, figurative food, alcohol, smoke, clothes. What are you addicted to? What are you trying to fill that empty hole with? There are other ways to fill that empty hole. If you're smoking, just say the shit that you would like to say. Express those truths. Air out those secrets that you're afraid to vent. If you're chronically drinking, why are you trying to blur the lines between you and somebody else, between you and your past, so that it is not as scary? Address it, look it in the eye, and say, I am not the past anymore. Why the hell will it have control over me now when I am not the past? What I did in the past was the past. What I'm doing now is not connected to the past. But it sure as shit will be if I keep on drinking and acting like I am the past. Again, if I'm shopping till I drop, what is the newness that I need to experience in my life that I think will come about from that new pair of shoes? And if it is just overconsumption at its core, eating, why am I trying to fill myself literally when figuratively it is what it is that needs filling? So we encourage you to look at some of those things that are happening for you, because all of those things are getting in the way of all it is that you are and remembering all it is that you have the capacity to be. But you sure as shit won't remember it if you're too busy filling your lungs with smoke, filling your belly with alcohol and Oreos and pints of ice cream, and wearing a bunch of things that are taking up space and taking up your space, literally, in your mental shelf. All that gets in the way of you, being you, remembering all that you are, over-identifying with shit that doesn't really matter to begin with. It only matters because you make it matter. And even when it matters, does it really matter? Just because you made it matter doesn't mean it really matters. Because if it did, you'd be getting a lot farther than where you've gotten with it. So, as always, we invite you to make more of a choice, because it is only when you feel like you don't have a choice that you keep on buying into an illusion that you have to do the same thing you've been doing and running around in a circle like a chicken with its head cut off, not understanding why you're not getting anywhere. So now, potentially, if you'd like, you can make a different choice for yourself, and if not, that's equally valid as well. As always, we thank you for making time and space for us, and we wish you well in your choices and wherever it is that those choices lead you.